Job lived in the land of Uz, a man of great wealth and righteousness. He was blameless and upright, fearing God and shunning evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and his livestock was vast 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys, along with a large number of servants. Job was considered the greatest man among all the people of the East. Job's life was a testimony to his faith in God. He regularly offered burnt offerings, one for each of his children, for he feared that they might have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Job's devotion to God was evident in every aspect of his life. One day, the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord asked Satan if he had considered his servant Job, noting that there was no one like him on earth, a man of integrity who feared God and shunned evil. Satan challenged God, claiming that Job's piety was due to the blessings and protection God had placed around him. If those were removed, Satan argued, Job would surely curse God to his face. God allowed Satan to test Job, permitting him to take away all that Job had, but forbidding him to harm Job himself. In quick succession, Job lost everything. His oxen and donkeys were stolen. His sheep were consumed by fire. His camels were taken by raiders, and a great wind collapsed the house where his children were feasting, killing them all. In the face of such devastating loss, Job tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground in worship. He said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. Satan, undeterred, appeared again before the Lord. This time, he challenged God to allow him to afflict Job's body, arguing that Job would surely curse God if he were in physical pain. God granted Satan permission to afflict Job, but forbade him from taking Job's life. Satan struck Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Job took a piece of broken pottery to scrape himself as he sat among the ashes. His wife, seeing his suffering, urged him to curse God and die. But Job rebuked her, saying, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. 3 of Job's friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, came to visit him. They sat with him for 7 days and 7 nights, mourning with him in silence, for they saw that his suffering was very great. When they finally spoke, they offered explanations for Job's suffering, suggesting that it must be a result of sin or wrongdoing on Job's part. But Job maintained his innocence, insisting that he had done nothing to deserve such affliction. As the dialogue between Job and his friends continued, Job expressed his deep anguish and questioned why God would allow such suffering. Yet, in the midst of his suffering, Job had a vision that gave him hope. He declared, "I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that in the end, he will stand on the earth. And after my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God. I myself will see him with my own eyes, and not another. How my heart yearns within me." This vision of the Redeemer and the hope of resurrection gave Job strength to endure his trials. Finally, God spoke to Job out of a whirlwind, challenging Job's understanding of the divine. God questioned Job about the mysteries of creation, the wonders of the natural world, and the limits of human knowledge. Through these questions, God reminded Job of his sovereignty and the vastness of his wisdom, which was beyond human comprehension. Job, humbled by God's words, repented in dust and ashes. He acknowledged that he had spoken of things he did not understand, things too wonderful for him to know. God then rebuked Job's friends for not speaking the truth about him as Job had, and he instructed them to offer a burnt offering. Job prayed for his friends, and God accepted his prayer. After Job's trial, the Lord restored his fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. Job received 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters again. The daughters were said to be the most beautiful in all the land, and Job gave them an inheritance along with their brothers. Job lived 140 years after his restoration, seeing his children and their children to the 4th generation. He died old and full of years, having been tested and refined, his faith in God unshaken.